Another system of coordinated function in your body is called the HPT axis. So what is this HPT axis? Well, it's a function participated by the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the thyroid gland. So that's why we call this HPT. H for hypothalamus, P for pituitary, and T for thyroid gland. So how does it work? The hypothalamus releases a hormone called the thyrotropin releasing hormone, which triggers the pituitary to produce the TSH, or the thyroid stimulating hormone, which in turn triggers the thyroid gland to produce T3 and T4. T3 is the triiodothyronine, and T4 is called the tetraiodothyronine. But these are hormones that are released by the thyroid gland. So this T3 and T4 controls a lot of things in your body that are important to metabolism. So things like your internal temperature, things like the energy levels in your body, things like how your body deals with the food and the oxygen to convert them to glucose and energy levels in your body. That is the function of the T3 and T4. So you can imagine this system is very important in order to determine your metabolism for your body. Now, you can think of it as the hypothalamus is really the part of the nervous system that kind of controls the pituitary, which, as you all know, is the master system of the endocrine system, and the thyroid gland, which is one of the members of the endocrine system. So this HPT axis is really a coordinated function between the nervous and the endocrine systems. Okay, and if you look at the diagram here, the way this is set up is through feedback mechanisms. You see, this TRH is a positive feedback, so a go-ahead signal, a positive signal for the pituitary to produce TSH, which in turn is a positive signal, positive feedback for the thyroid to produce T3 and T4. Now, in order for this to be controlled, we also have negative feedback mechanisms in place. So for example, there has to be a limit of the concentration for the T3 and T4. And when that limit is reached, it would actually tell the pituitary and also the hypothalamus to decrease or altogether stop the production of TRH and TSH, so that the thyroid gland can also stop producing T3 and T4. Because you see, if we only have all positive feedbacks, then the T3 and T4 will keep on increasing and increasing and increasing again and again. The human body must achieve what we call homeostasis. Not too much, not too little of anything. So therefore, you cannot have a runaway effect where the T3 and T4 would increase exponentially. So because of that, the body has this mechanism of a negative feedback. It detects the amount of T3 and T4. And at a certain level, that elevated amount would tell the pituitary and the hypothalamus to stop, because we need to decrease the amount of T3 and T4. And by the way, the T3 and T4 would also act on the TH sensitive cells in your body. So these are cells that are, again, related to the things that were mentioned, like internal temperature, like how you deal with energy, how you deal with the glucose and the oxygen in your body, so that you can convert them to ATP, which is ultimately the source of energy for all the cells in the body. Okay, so that is how the HPT axis in the body works. Hypothalamus, thyroid, hypothalamus, pituitary, and thyroid. We call that the HPT axis. Again, very important in the metabolism of your body.